Welcome back
All right.
to the ALG podcast. This is a special episode for me because as you'll come to hear from our new guest Danielle, we have a long experience of knowing each other. To think that at one point in time we were in the same high school, in the same grade, both not in our ideal healthy bodies at the same time, the two biggest people in the entire school, and now we're some of the most fit people from our grade. It's a crazy sequence of events. We're gonna flex on them. And so honestly, I'm so excited to hear this story because obviously we've been supported back and forth with each other. You've messaged me, I've messaged you. We've kept in connection with both of our transformations, but obviously I've never heard the A to Z. I've never heard, you never know what's happening in someone's head. You don't know all the nitty gritty details. You just more see the transformation from afar. So it's going to be really cool to hear the A to Z transformation, how your story really aligns with your past, your present, and what you're looking forward in the future. And so honestly, Danielle, to start this thing off, the first, as we know, as you in this podcast, the first 20, 30 minutes is just telling your story, A to Z, the raw, honest truth, because authenticity is the cornerstone of what this podcast is all about. So Danielle, I'd love to just kind of give you the floor and tell us your story.
Let's start with, you know what, I think this is a good starting point. I'm going to start with sports. Okay. So I have always been very active. And my parents, they put me in soccer at the YMCA, you know, in Forest Hills. I did a lot of sport. I did gymnastics. I have always been, and I still am, very flexible. And as I was doing it, you know, soccer, basketball, volleyball, starting from middle school, I was great. You know, I did volleyball. I made the A team is what they called it. And things started just getting more difficult as time went by. And it had almost everything it had to do with my weight. I was different, and I knew it was different when I was in 5th grade, you know, in the locker room when you have to change and everything. I always went into a bathroom stall, always. And everyone was like, why are you going into a bathroom stall? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to change in front of you guys.
Ditto.
I remember the community pool. It's in that neighborhood across from the Fine Arts Center back in the day. I went swimming there with one of my old friends, and and this is like everyone, like this happens to everyone. Well, it happened to me, but we went swimming. I had a bikini on, and, you know, I was obviously overweight. I was different from everyone else. And I remember she looked at me and she said, "Oh my God, what is that?" And she was looking at my stomach and she saw stretch marks. And from that point on afterwards, I just always I always kept my body just closed, and I didn't want to really show anyone my body. And it's nothing against her, but I knew that other people were noticing my flaws that I noticed in myself.
Right.
And at that time when I was young, obviously, like I didn't, you know, I was very insecure and whatnot. And so I did a lot of sports, and it was it got very hard to continue with like doing a sport. So going to high school, I tried out for the volleyball team. This was actually this is very sensitive. It's a sensitive topic for me to talk about because volleyball was like my life. Like my parents put me in volleyball. I was really, really good. Even being a bigger girl, like, you know, spiking that ball, like I was really good. And I had a powerful arm and whatnot. So anyways, I got cut from the volleyball team, and it was, and everyone that I grew up with, like, made, you know, the varsity or whatever. And this is when I was just going into Forest Hills Northern, and it was very hard. I actually remember, you know, Corinne, because I believe she tried out, and Corinne, I love her. But there was a lot of the girls that I grew, well, in middle school, I did volleyball with. I couldn't continue doing volleyball with them in high school. And it was sad, and I started crying. Like, when they told me I did not make the team, like, I didn't even make, like, the JV. Like, they cut me, and it was like, wow. And it had to do with my weight. were saying it, but they were very they were indirectly basically telling me like I'm too heavy. Like that's just what it was. And it was really sad. I remember going home to my mother and crying to her, and she said, it's okay. And it's okay to cry. And I just cried and cried for hours. It was very emotional. And may she rest in peace. She's no longer here with us. But my mom taught me from that day that it is okay to cry. And as long as you get back up and do something, like, you know, life can be good. And so that was very emotional for me. So after that, I stopped doing sports. I avoided gym classes. It was just really, 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 really bad. And so, and let me know if I'm getting too off topic.
No,
but
keep going.
You're fine.
So,
Keep going.
am I doing good? Okay. So, yeah. So that is where that was the end of me doing sports, and even going back. I'm kind of backtracking here, but gymnastics. So, I'm sure David, you've seen that. You know, I'm very flexible, and I used to be able to do backflips and all this other, gymnastic stuff. But the weight had a lot to do with why I could not move on. Bars, so gymnastic bars, that was very hard for me to do. And my dad actually told me a few years ago, he said, we pulled you out of gymnastics because they were paying out of pocket for this. Like, this was gymnastics. It's not cheap. Okay. I'm just going to say that.
Right.
It's expensive. And they were paying straight out of pocket. And they pulled me out. Then it had a lot to do with my weight. And I didn't know that, of course, when I was a child. However, knowing now, it's just like, it's crazy how much my weight, it's kept me from so many like opportunities and things that I actually love to do. And I stopped doing them, and life just became really depressing.
Right.
So going, back to high school, I didn't do any sports at all. I was told, Mr. Chambliss was like, you should do track, come, join the track team and whatnot. And I'm just like, I don't want to run in front of people. I don't want to do, what do they call it? The shot put? Did I say that right? All those things. So I just was very insecure, and I just kind of just gave up on that dream. Like, it's sports, it's not for me. I'm just going to stop. So in high school, I was always the funny one. Okay. I kind of just a little bit. I was really funny, but I enjoyed my high school career. I had a lot of high school was very emotional for me.
Right.
Academically, it was very hard. I just graduated with my bachelor's degree, actually, but it took me longer to just complete just anything. And to me, I guess I've always been a very bubbly person and whatnot, but I guess, I don't know, my personality changed. I stopped doing sports. I felt like I needed to fit in somewhere. So where can I fit in? Where can I fit in? And, I met people that I was certain wouldn't like judge me.
Right.
And it basically, I just, I went for, and talking about the chicken nuggets barbecue ranch. So can I mention this just a little story about that?
Fire
A lot of
away.
people don't know.
I know these little nuances looking back on it now. I think it has a whole different meaning. And so fill us in.
Okay. So chicken nuggets, barbecue ranch. So I loved chicken nuggets, and one of my really good best friends, so really good friends with her at that time, she loved chicken nuggets too. And for some reason, we would always go to McDonald's and just eat chicken nuggets. We would just do that after school. We get chicken nuggets and whatnot. And actually, it was at a football game. I'm gonna get my water. Hold on one sec. At a football game, they were talking about certain sauces. Like, what sauces do you do? Do you eat sweet and sour, barbecue? And I'm like, well, I like barbecue ranch. You know what I mean? And so from there, everyone knew me as chicken nuggets, barbecue ranch. My email address, get this, it's no longer my email, okay? But my email address was chicken nuggets, BR for barbecue ranch, 10 for 10 piece at yahoo.com.
That's fantastic.
Now I'll ask you why.
Why? A lot of people knew me as that, the chicken nuggets girl or chicken nuggets, you know,
Did you
like
like
I
that?
would
Dislike that? What was looking back on
at the
it? What did it
time,
mean?
looking back, okay, so looking back on it, I liked it because I was finally recognized for something, I
Right.
guess. And again, I wasn't doing sports anymore. I wanted to fit in some way, somehow. So looking back on it now that I'm grown, it made me feel good. But then it also made me feel like, and just to be honest, sorry, it's getting emotional. I don't like this. But okay, so looking at it now, it's kind of like I was always known for that, just to be that, like, that funny girl. And I feel like I was still talked about in the background, but looking on it now, I guess I still don't have a problem with someone calling me chicken nuggets. A lot of people, you know, reference me as that, but um, I guess that was maybe, I don't know the right word, David. Like when I was, you know, in high school, I don't know.
Well, I'll give you a quick story really quick. When I was in high school, people used to call me Brucey.
Okay.
And that was because of, have you ever seen the movie Matilda?
Yes.
Okay, so you know Brucey, the fat kid who eats the cake?
Hmm.
They said that I used to look like that my freshman year of high school. So all through high school, everyone used to in the hallway say, "Hey, Brucey, Brucey, eat the cake, Brucey." And that was me in high school. So I used to take that Brucey and use it as fuel. And from that, I just developed this persona of being the funny fat guy in high school. And I feel like that is a cross that a lot of us who grew up obese or was in high school, we were obese in high school, that was our role. Was, you
Yeah,
know, we couldn't play the sports, we couldn't be doing what other people were doing, so what were we? We were funny. And if we weren't funny, we had nothing. So Brucey is
that I
relating
feel
right
that.
now to chicken nuggets right now. Brucey and chicken
I
nuggets have a
feel that.
little romance going on right now. So take me
I
back to
feel
high
that.
school. I want to really dive deep into what you were thinking back in high school. And when did you really notice that your eating habits were kind of, you know, not what they should be?
I guess when so as far as eating, I didn't eat healthy at all in high school. Like
Right.
my entire high school career, I didn't eat healthy at all. So I
What
guess I
consisted
noticed
of unhealthy? I'd love
Yeah.
to know. Like for me, like
the
if I
foods.
explain, yeah, like my classic moves were, I would drink 15 to 20 Diet Cokes a day. It was a
But it was a
Costco
Diet
size,
Coke.
it's Diet Coke. It's healthy for you.
Right. Right. It's healthy.
I would eat a Costco size 24 count of Reese's pretty much every day. Not to mention the amount of I dropped $20 at Taco Bell at a
Yeah.
time. And as everyone
Man.
knows, that's a
Yeah.
lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what were some of your go-tos back in high school days outside of chicken
Um,
nuggets
Chicken
and barbecue
nuggets.
ranch?
okay, outside of chicken nuggets, McDonald's, I also ate a lot of cheeseburgers, a lot of Buffalo Wild Wings, me and my friend. And there's things that you can actually eat at Buffalo Wild Wings,
Mm-hmm.
but my go-tos were very like fried chicken, um, cheeseburgers. I mean, I would eat and eat. I'd spend like a lot of money just
Yeah.
on food. I'm like, this is like ridiculous. This is crazy. And I guess I didn't notice it at the time, or even if I would be like, I would go to the vending machine. Like I'd literally lie, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And really, I'd go to the vending machine in high school
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
just get a snack. And then I always did it when I knew class was going on, where no one would be in the hallways right by that entrance, because I'm going to get not just one bag of Doritos, I'm going to get maybe 5 bags of
Right.
Doritos. Pop. I was addicted to pop. I did a lot of pop as well, or soda, whatever you guys want to call it. But I snacked a lot, and I was always eating and eating and eating and eating, and that's when I noticed at that time, like this is not okay. And I guess, you know, I
Now,
don't even, I
would you
don't
say
know
that
how
you
to
were an
explain it now,
emotional
but
eater, or were you just eating because that was the thing to do? Like a lot of the time, for me, it was more. I had my emotional eating. Definitely, I pushed my emotions through food, but boredom. Like I would just find myself bored. So if I was bored, I'm gonna go look in the fridge and see what we have, and I would do that dance to the fridge all the time and see, you know, well, has anything changed in the last 10 minutes? No, nothing's changed. All right, well, I'm going back and grabbing what I had before. You know, so was it
right.
more of an
Yeah.
emotional eating for you, or like kind of take me through what was going on and why were you eating so much?
Yeah, so I guess at that time, I would actually consider it emotional eating. I had a different childhood,
Right.
and I would just find, food was my comfort, and I just kept eating, and that's just what it was. Um, just eat, eat, eat. Go into the refrigerator or pizza rolls, getting those pizza bagels out.
Hmm.
Again, a lot of like fried chicken, a lot of fried food. I didn't eat healthy at all, but I think it definitely came from me. It just provided comfort to me.
Mhm.
So,
So then now we're in the transition period because obviously you were very similar to me. We didn't make the change in high school. We
right.
move into college and
Well,
that
what
and
was your, before we move on to college, what was your
yeah.
highest weight in high school, if you know?
Ooh, man, I don't know. I think I was like, I was above 250.
Okay. So then that
It
transition
just
to
kept,
college, it just continued.
oh yeah, it just went up.
Okay.
It skyrocketed. Yeah.
And then so now you're in the late teens, early mid 20s. Obviously you fluctuated just like me. Didn't make any change till actually you were only like 2 years behind me where you started making your transition.
Yeah.
So you fluctuated, at least from my experience, you kind of fluctuated in that life. And then let's do that transition period. So at your peak of your weight, what were you ish? How long ago was your highest weight? Do you have any idea what that was?
How long ago was my highest weight?
Yeah, like before you started your transition into everything, where were
Oh,
you at?
okay. I was at before I started my weight loss transition, I was at um I was oh sorry. Um 396,
Okay.
Okay.
396. But I've been higher. I've been
Right.
over 400 pounds,
Right.
but
No one
Mhm.
likes to
yeah.
go on the scale. Nobody likes to go on the scale, especially when we
Yeah.
live this lifestyles that we live.
All right, all right. Funny
Yeah.
story. I'm gonna transition. So in high school, my highest weight, at least in high school, was 410,
Mhm.
and actually it's probably higher than that because what I used to do, what you think it's what wrapping your head around the stuff you used to do when you didn't like yourself in this standpoint just to make yourself feel better, whether it's owning yourself as the chicken nuggets girl
Right.
or whatever it may be. When I used to go to the doctor, I was on this big scale and I would grab the pole and pull up a little bit to try to take off like 5 pounds.
Me too.
Like
I can
that
relate.
actually made a difference. It's
I can
like, are
relate.
you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it says 410 instead of 417. Like
I'd raise my right foot up just a little bit so it wasn't totally resting on the scale. No, I feel you, bro.
Oh
I
my
love it.
God, I feel that. I did that. I
Oh,
feel
I
that.
love it. I love it. So you're in this. So
But
obviously you were above 400 pounds at your heaviest.
yeah.
You were saying from the beginning you took the initiative that you needed to transform. Did you have a emotional impact moment? Was it an
Yeah.
aha? What made that kind of transition for you?
I guess it was the bullying, I guess.
Okay.
And
To
bullying in
me,
what
for me
sense?
personally. So I I started I actually so I people actually thought I became I started actually bullying. I started just being mean. And that wasn't me because I'm always a funny girl.
Right.
But there was certain things that I would hear from, like a couple of these people, in high school talking about or dang, Danny, you're going to the vending machine again, like damn, okay, chicken nuggets, barbecue ranch, like like and again, it's something that I took and I just used that really just as fuel. But I when I decided to transition, I was tired of being called names. And this, it really, yes, I was, people called me fat and the fat girl and whatever it was in high school. And, we were kids, but I mean, there's really no excuse for it. However, that's just what it was. That's what I lived. I lived my entire life dealing with that. And so, what made me want to change? And this is crazy that I'm saying this because I don't even know if I've been, okay. So Darius, Darius,
Yep,
my best friend.
I love Darius.
So I love him.
He's a funny guy.
I love Darius, best friend. So he was getting a tattoo, and this was after high school, like right after high school. He was getting a tattoo, and it was somewhere downtown. And I had walked across the street because there was like a pizza place. I was just hungry, okay? Like I wanted a slice of pizza. And as I was walking back to the tattoo place to meet him in there, it was an older stranger was driving past me and said, "Get out the street, you fat bitch." Like that's what he said.
You can
Damn.
curse. Don't worry. You're totally allowed to curse. Don't listen to David. You can curse all you want.
Okay, bet. Thank you. So he said, "Get out the street, you fat bitch." And I'm like, what?
Damn.
Yeah.
That made me feel like shit. Because one, I'm young, dude. I basically just graduated from high school.
Right.
You are an older man. And I just felt like complete fucking shit. Like I'll never forget that. And it's really fucked up.
So you think
But
that
yeah.
was your turning point? That was like where the light switch went off, or was there more self-doubt that came after that?
No, there was more self-doubt for sure. I mean, I didn't want to be this big girl that everyone would like talk about. And at that point, like when I was younger, I was so focused on my image. I was focused on what society thinks is acceptable versus not, you know.
Right.
That at that time is what I was focused on. But now being a mother and actually being an adult, obviously my feelings have changed, because honestly, I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say, because I didn't get this far listening to anyone's bullshit opinions. But
That's right.
it pushed me. It did drive me. It pushed me. And then I don't know if I'm getting too off topic, let me know, but
continue.
I got into a really, really, really bad relationship.
Okay.
And it was just bad. It just wasn't, I mean, it was bad. And I was called names. I mean, you saw that my TikTok video, the video that I made, and the reason I just want to say that I have that video footage is because I wanted to, back in the day, like in 2013, 2014, I wanted to do a YouTube channel, and I never like got to that. I still don't have a YouTube channel, but I recorded that because I wanted to just document how I was feeling at that very moment, to look back at it, to give me motivation to like leave my now ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually just gave me more motivation to actually, can you guys see me?
Yep.
Okay. To just want to lose weight. I wanted to be healthy. I was tired of the problems I was dealing with. David, I don't know if you recall, but I was flying out of town and I asked you, like, do you think I should buy an extra seat? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Yeah. And I didn't want to have to buy, I literally had to purchase an extra seat on an airplane because I could not fit in just a regular seat. I knew that wasn't going to work. And then I had to get a seatbelt extender.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so tired of having to just do extra roller coasters.
Mm-hmm.
This is something else. Oh my God, talking about this, it's like bringing up all these memories.
If you're gonna say you love roller coasters, we all love roller coasters. We all have our roller coaster moment.
I really think it's a fat person thing that they just happen to love roller coasters.
It must be, because I love roller coasters. And I went to Six Flags one summer with my family, and I went with my cousin on just it wasn't anything like major, just a basic, roller coaster. But it was one of those where you had to pull the thing down and then you had to like tighten the seatbelt. And they told me to get off.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't rude about it.
The same story. It's incredible. Go ahead.
Are you serious? This is crazy.
Oh, it's demoralizing.
I remember it's terrible.
Yeah. So they told me I couldn't ride the roller coaster in front of all of these people that are just like lined up, ready to go. Like, get the hell off. You're, holding up the whatever. But it made me feel, I was so embarrassed and just so ashamed. Like, how could I let this happen? I can't even freaking go on a roller coaster. Like, it's too many stories like that where I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having to look at if I need to pay an extra $300 for an extra seat,
And it goes to show you right there alone that I've come to realize that there's the pains of discipline, of changing your body, of eating healthy. obviously it's not always fun to say no to pizza when all your friends are eating pizza. It's not always, it doesn't
Right.
feel good all the time. And to go to the gym doesn't always feel good. There's disciplines and pains in that. But I tell you what, the pains of when you're significantly overweight, like you can't fit on a plane right, you can't go to the same stores as everyone, like that sucks just if not more than what the disciplines of pain are when it comes to eating healthy
Right.
and doing all those kind of things. So I definitely heavily relate there. The one thing I'll say from here is like I'd love to start getting in that transition phase. So you were saying from the beginning, you kind of made that decision that I'm sick of this lifestyle. I need to take more accountability for my actions and live a healthy, more life. And you thought personal trainer was the right move. Get into that motion. So what was the sequence of events starting there?
Okay, so this was when I actually met my ex, my now ex, but I wanted to just feel good. And one of my very best friends, she's a great friend of mine, she said, "Hey, I'm doing this personal training thing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, can you send me the information?" And she said, "Yeah." So she sent me the information. I set up a meeting with the bodybuilding company, and I basically signed a contract. And it was something I had to think about because again, at that time, I didn't have any kids. I didn't really have many bills to pay, so I was just like, $395 a month. Yes, that's wild. That's crazy. But to me, she was doing it and it was working, and I'm like, you know what? I'm ready. Like, let's do this now. Like, I'm not in high school anymore. Like, I want to do this now. I met with them, and basically, it was a signed contract. To me, that meant no matter what, I had to be in the gym with my personal trainer. Because either way, they're literally going to be taking $395 out a month, regardless. The only way I could get out of that contract is if I, became pregnant or like I was like on my deathbed or something. But to me, that kind of, it just held me accountable. And they taught me a lot of different workout techniques and how to eat right. Just, the basics, just even like body fat. And they would know if I was like cheating. Okay, like, yeah, the scale may go down, but what is that thing that you hold that measures your
The body fat like
yeah.
electrode. Yep.
Yeah, and they would do that on me because, okay, I may lose a pound or two, but let's check that body fat because that actually makes a huge difference. So they taught me a lot of different things, and it was hard work. It was hard. It was really hard. We did a lot of boxing, just a lot of deadlifts, just a lot of routines. And it was, a couple times a week. And then as far as the meal prepping goes, that was, so the eating right was really difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, I couldn't, it was just too hard. I mean, I'd rather just be in the gym than like follow this meal plan. I can't do it.
It's
like
the
I
classic.
Can't do that.
Everyone just thinks, oh, it's the gym. It's nutrition
It's
all
not.
day long.
It's not. It is not the gym at all. It's not the working out. It's part of it, but not all of it. And to be honest, the eating right is what helped me during this entire journey I've been on, is the eating right. So so they would meal preps. I would eat a lot of salmon. Oh, that was my favorite. I got a food scale. I'd have to weigh my food. A lot of portion control. And I'm just like, okay, well, can I have like a full thing of salmon, or can I like, and she's like, it's not like it's unhealthy, but no, you need to follow this plan. You're going to have this amount of protein. You're going to have, some brown rice on the side, a vegetable. In between meals, I would do whey protein. And I never like stuck to an exact brand. I would kind of always just experiment different kinds that worked for me and my body. But so that's the personal training piece.
Okay.
And there's more to the story. So should I keep going?
Yes,
keep going.
please.
And
All
so
right.
really start diving into, you're in the midst of your transformation. What were some of the tactics you used? And what kind of timeline was this over to where you are now?
Yeah, so I've been on my journey for it's been like 6 years. And that's the timeline of it. So I did the personal training, and with my personal trainer, I lost around 75 pounds, almost like 100 pounds. I don't know the exact number, but almost 75 pounds by exercise and eating healthy. And then that is when I kind of started focusing on other things, like school, and I want to have a baby and things like that. So to fast forward, all of that happened. And then right after, and I was with my personal trainer again for about a year, and I got out of my contract. I became pregnant, and I gained, I mean, a lot of weight. I mean, I was probably 400, I was probably like 420 or something like that at that time. But it was just, it was really, it was a bad pregnancy because it was hard to walk. And I mean, all moms can experience this, but like my shoes didn't fit, you know,
Right.
clothes, I mean, didn't fit. It was already hard. It was already like difficult for me to find clothing that fit me. Um, you know, so because I was bigger and I've always been plus size. But so yeah, after the whole personal training thing, after I had the baby, my baby, the baby, after I had my son, I wanted to go back to losing weight, and I couldn't afford a personal trainer. I was in a very abusive relationship, mentally, physically. It was hard. And I just wanted to, and I was called names, but I wanted to make a change. So at that time, I decided to get weight loss surgery. So we're going to talk about that piece, okay?
Very nice.
I decided to get the VSG. And a lot of people, even to this day, well, why didn't you just hire a personal trainer? Or why didn't you take the knowledge that you learned from the personal trainer and just apply it to your everyday life? I don't know. At that time, I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was just like an easy way out, which it's not. And we're going to get into that because weight loss surgery, it's not an easy way out.
Danielle,
So let's,
I've had
yeah,
it. I had it.
yes.
So
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm picking up
So,
what you're
okay,
putting down.
good. So I'm thinking like, I'm just going to get this surgery. Fuck it. I'm not going to spend $395 a month on a personal trainer. I am not motivated. I have no one to motivate me, which we'll talk about because no one really can motivate you but yourself. But anyways, yeah. So I decided to get the VSG. It's basically like a sleeve surgery where they take a portion of your stomach, like your inner, like stomach out. And I got that and it started working. It was great. They had me go through a psych evaluation to make sure I was ready, because even with my plastic surgery, which we'll talk about later, but they make you do that just because it's a lifestyle change and you have to understand that things are going to be different. Losing weight, it's not just about like what you look like on the outside. Like it's just more to it than that. And
So
I
how
mean,
were you
it's not
feeling
talked
emotionally when
about.
you started? Like when you finally decided, excuse me, that you were going to take the weight loss surgery route. Emotionally, how were you feeling?
Emotionally, I felt embarrassed that that it got to that point,
Right.
because at that point, I was the highest I've ever been, like
Right.
weight. And I just nothing was working. I mean,
Mhm.
even just me walking, and I did a lot of walking, you know, and because I had to lose some weight before the surgery, but I did a lot of cardio. That's what I needed to do at that time. And emotionally, I was embarrassed, and I just was like, wow, I did this with a personal trainer. Yes, it took work, but is there another way? And at that point, I way qualified.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I took the classes, and, you know, I started eating just proteins, like very high protein diet. It wasn't keto or anything like that, but which I have done before. But anyways, it was a very high protein diet, and it was kind of just, it took me back to the days where it's just like, how did I allow this to happen? Like, how did I get to this point? And that's just like from, me emotionally speaking. It was a decision I just felt like I had to make because I needed to do this, not just for me, but I wanted to be able to, I guess, go down, a slide at the park with my
Right.
son. And again, he was a newborn at this time, but I wanted to be able to do those things with him as fast as possible because, you know, life is short. And I decided to do that. And so speaking about the surgery, like now, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to talk about it, but at that time I was, and I was just ashamed, but it was really, really difficult because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to lose the weight. Everything's going to be great. And I'm going to be like this new person. Okay, no. Let me tell you. So first of all, have you heard of transfer addictions?
No, actually, tell me about this.
Okay. So my addiction was food. When my doctor, when he was talking about the actual weight loss surgery, he said, watch out for transfer addiction. Some people don't believe in it, whatever. But like me, I'm not going to be eating a lot anymore. So what am I going to be doing?
Right. I
That type
got
of
you.
stuff.
Okay.
So I had a lot of issues, like just like with my mental health. I had to deal with a lot. Again, I was in a bad relationship. I wasn't happy with how my life was. During my pregnancy, I had 3 losses. I lost both my grandparents and my mother in the same year.
Very sorry.
And thank you. And it was just so hard. And I couldn't do it. And so anyways, I guess my transfer addiction was, I kind of leaned towards smoking marijuana and drinking a lot. And at that time, it was kind of like, okay, like I needed to stop. And really only like my best friends like knew about it. And it wasn't like a issue to where I wasn't able to like do my job or anything like that. But internally, I knew like I was never this Dani.
Right.
Damn it, I just want to, get some chicken nuggets. I just want to get, a whole box, not a slice, a whole box of pizza and just eat it. But it's like, I can't do that because the surgery kind of prevents you from eating large amounts of food.
Right.
It was working for a while. And then I just like stopped losing weight. And
Now, were you going to the gym during this? Were you working out during?
I've always, since the personal training started, I have always been in the gym, always. Gotcha. And so yeah, going back to that, I was always in the gym and the weight kind of just stopped like falling off. And I'm like, what the hell? And I like reached out to my doctor, like, blah, 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 like I'm that one. Okay. And he's like, well, this is only a tool. You can't just get the weight loss surgery and just it's not like that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I know you guys said that in the beginning, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to
like,
believe it.
Come on. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, yeah, you're going to lose weight for a minute and then it's just going to stop.
Yeah.
And so the weights just stopped. And I still was working out, but my eating, I kind of just got off track. And I was dealing with a lot of things that distracted me from just kind of, succeeding in what I, started. But so that's how it happened. And I stopped losing the weight. Then I started going back to the gym and I started meal prepping again. And I started using all of the training skills that I learned when I was training with my bodybuilder. I started using those. I actually reached out to one of them and I said, hey, are you doing training? And they were like, not right now. I have to wait till my no compete, like contract, whatever you call that, is up. And then, I'll be taking clients. But I had to just kind of do it on my own. And yes, I had the personal trainer. And yes, there was the surgery. but then again, it really just stopped. It's kind of like it helped me for a little bit, and then it just, I really had to, all right, it's time to freaking work. So this was one thing. And a lot of parents actually ask me, how the hell do I do this with a kid? So I am very blessed to work for a company that has a gym in our workplace. And when I would drop my son off at daycare, I would just go in an hour and a half early and just go to the gym. They have showers, and then I'm just upstairs, and I start working. And I did that a lot. So I had, my lunches were 30 minutes. I had 2 15-minute breaks, and I would literally go down there, and people actually would, I didn't smell at that time, but people would be like, wow, you're really just like going on the treadmill, coming back up here, huh? And you're not showering or nothing. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I
This is
mean,
what
it
it
is what it
takes.
is. And I had to,
Yeah.
I had to do that. And so I would, I started my meal prepping. I started working out. I started working on my core and just stretching more, and working with my balance. I've always been off balance because I was always large, and but I started doing a lot of the things that I love to do, like gymnastics. I couldn't, do backflips or anything. I'm sure I can do one like if I'm on a trampoline, but I started doing my handstands and working on getting my splits down, which I can do now. And I started doing a lot of boxing as well. Like in that video, I know you saw the boxing. And the boxing really helped me. And I'm not the best. I'm not a professional at all. But it helped me. It got a lot of anger. I was dealing with a lot. And so the boxing helped. And they had a boxing
Nice.
area at my job. So yes,
So
I
then,
am
quick
very
question
blessed.
for you.
Yeah.
So now you're in the mid. You figured out that weight loss surgery isn't some secret pill that has
No,
so many.
it's
I didn't even
not.
have weight loss surgery. Now the idea that people think that somehow it's this
Yeah.
like you had surgery, it's just easy. It's just BS. Like they have no
Yeah.
idea.
And
Yeah, and so you're in that whole position. You find out the hard truth that the weight loss surgery is a tool. You got to figure out, get back to that accountability, get back on nutrition, get back on working out in a consistent manner. You got crazy momentum, and obviously you know how that momentum works. Where are you at now?
like weight wise.
Like weight wise, health wise, where are you at now?
Well, how much did you actually
yeah.
initially lose from the weight loss surgery
Oh,
before you kind of got off path after having it?
Only like 100 and maybe 20 pounds, which
Okay.
is a lot, but
Yes.
I lost that with my personal trainer.
Right.
I mean, 75 or whatever with my personal trainer. But with the weight loss surgery, I only lost, before I got off track, like 100 and something pounds.
And then how
So
quickly would you say, once you started to kind of pick up that rule book again and follow the rules again, how quickly did the weight come off?
it was harder.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just something like if you get weight loss surgery and you just stop like doing what like you actually should be doing, it just gets harder over time. But I would say it took maybe like over maybe a couple of years, I would
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
It took longer to lose the weight that I needed to lose. And again, I was in the gym all the time.
Mhm.
At this point, once I started at my job that I'm at now, and I started, just eating right and whatnot too.
So
So
the hardest thing for you from what I'm hearing was not so much being accountable to the actions of working out. It was more the battle with food addiction and not being able to break that and stay accountable to the meal prep and the eating right and stuff like that. Is that kind of what
yeah,
you would say? Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I definitely can relate to that. The For me, when I decided to get weight loss surgery, it was more for my health than it was for anything else. Just like you, I had a personal trainer for a year before I decided to have weight loss surgery. And just like yourself,
hmm
when I had that personal trainer in that first year, I lost about 80 to 88 pounds. My
okay,
problem was I was very asthmatic. So I was, working out, I get on steroids, I gain the weight back. And that's when I decided to have the weight loss surgery. Now, when I had it, I'm not sure how it was for you, but when I had it, they sat everybody down and made us all go into a room with the surgeon that was operating on us. And this was weeks before surgery. This was like during pre-op, and everyone who was going to have surgery by that doctor. And then all of a sudden you're in a room with about 30 people who all have the same freaking problem as you. And you hear
Yeah.
stories from everyone else and how you all relate. So at that point, the doctor looked at us straight in the eye and goes, if you do not follow the rule book of this surgery, you will not have success. And I will see you back here for a revision. And your
Yes.
insurance company will not pay for that revision. So I said, motherfucker, you're paying for it the first time. I ain't coming back here again.
Right.
So, you know, that was the whole having to pay out of pocket thing. And it's expensive. That is what kind of kept me accountable, you know, but
Right.
and we're all different. And I know that your son is your why, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that by you having your son, you were able to take it a step further, and that's where you
Yeah.
found your accountability. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
right now, where do you stand? How much are you down from the beginning of your journey, from, you know, chicken nuggets, barbecue ranch to right now? How much have you lost?
Okay, so since the beginning of my journey, I would say a total of 230-ish
That's
pounds.
amazing. That is amazing.
That is
230-ish
phenomenal.
pounds. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. And
230-ish
David had
pounds.
told me before we got on here that, you know, I'm blessed today because I'm talking to a TikTok superstar. So why don't you tell us about your new little TikTok venture that you're on right now? Because
Yeah,
TikTok is the game right now.
it is. So as David knows, I don't know anything. I'm very like, I don't know if it's old school, but I'm very late when it comes to social media. I never really used my Instagram.
Mhm.
Facebook is really what I went to a lot. But
Mhm.
my sister was like, yeah, there's TikTok, so you should get it. And I'm like, okay. So I downloaded the TikTok app, and I was like, this is stupid. Why is everyone doing videos that are just like the same videos and the same songs? Like, I don't understand, like, why? And she's like, well, that's the point. TikTok, the point of TikTok, TikTok is because you want to get as many likes, followers, and views on the same thing until it goes viral. I did not know that. Literally, I did not know that. So I'm just like, okay, I'm looking at all of these like famous TikTokers. I'm trying to do these dances, and I still do them, but I look a mess, whatever. It is what it is. But I was like, you know what? So many people asked me about my journey. Even like before TikTok, a lot of people wanted to know, like, how do I do it? How do I stay consistent, with being a mother and being a, full-time student and working full-time. Um, so I was like, you know what? Let me go back to where I felt like complete shit from someone I was madly in love with, who I still, even after I made that video of being called an ignorant cow, still dealt with him for years after that. And that's a self-love thing. But anyways, I decided to make a video, and I'm like, you know what? I want to just document my journey because it's possible. And I
Right.
know that there's a lot of women out there, even men, that deal with weight loss, struggling to lose weight, and
Mhm.
what pushed them, whether it was, a child, their children, or just, they were tired of the bullshit, or they were tired of getting made fun of. And I guess in that moment when I was making that video, I started like going through my iCloud,
Mhm.
and I just started like looking at old videos and pictures of me just so unhappy. I was just so unhappy, and it was a lot. And I'm just like, you know what? I actually reached out to David, and I texted David, and I said, I don't know the exact words I said, but I said, David, so I made this video, I got this TikTok app or whatever, and like, I
Do
don't
you think it's
know if
good?
I
I
should
don't
like
think I'm
post it.
freaking out. I'm freaking out. Like, is it good? Do you think I should
Yeah,
post it? Should I post it? I don't know what to do.
yeah. And then I reached out to my sister. I was like, so I made this TikTok video, but it's like, about like my past kind of. And she's like, what, Danielle? Like, don't do anything fucking stupid. Like, And so then I reached out to you. I'm like, I don't know, like I have bad anxiety, and I was very scared to post that. I was really scared, and I did. David said, I love it. I think you should go for it. And so I posted the TikTok video. And I'm still like, at this point, I'm like busy, changing my sheets and stuff, like dealing with my child. And then David texted me and he's like, holy shit, like, you know, like, you look at your TikTok, like,
It
you
was
see the
like it
views or
was like
whatever.
4 hours in and it had like 400,000 views.
I was like, wait, hold on. I'm just Danielle from Grand Rapids, Raggedy, Michigan. Like, I'm sorry, but hold up here. I was just like, holy shit, like, this is crazy. And yeah, so anyways, thank you for pushing me, not pushing me, but motivating me to post that, because I was scared. I was scared I was going to be made fun of, judged. I was going to get cussed out by my ex. I was scared of what would happen if I posted that video. I was really scared. So.
And then what was the final result of it? Just
Yeah. Well, how many views do you have on
how
that
many
bad
views
boy?
up to now?
I looked, it's like 2.6 million.
Yeah, 2.6 million views.
Like 2.6 million views. And I'm just like, this is crazy, because I definitely was not going to, I literally had it saved as a draft for a couple of days. And I'm just like, I'm just going to reach out to David, like, and see, like, because I was really scared. But you know what? I really, really love seeing all the support and just the kind words that people from all over the world were, you know, reaching out to me. And it was a good experience. And I really liked that. So.
Well, the scaredness, the scared feeling that you were getting was kind of just the universe telling you that it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, every time
Mm-hmm.
I've posted something that I've thought twice about posting, when I posted it, it ends up having the most impact because it was the realest idea that I came up with. And I will say,
which is crazy.
Yeah, and I will say you're ahead of the curve. At least for me, you're ahead of the curve for the first time because you decided to make, you know, a TikTok that was about your life, and instead of, you know, doing a stupid dance and doing a Tootsie Slide or whatever the hell people are doing on TikTok right now,
it's hard.
you decided to be real, and that realness popped off. So you're ahead of the curve right now. More people are going to start making TikToks that have to do with real life situations and what they're going through, rather than, you know, some dumb dance or some dumb trend that's going on. So my hat's off to you. That's amazing. You have, I mean, obviously you see the amount of people that you've impacted with 2.2 million views. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. You have a fantastic story. And I think that you have literally overcome so much. And I think just a little bit, Danielle, you need to give yourself just a slight bit more credit, just a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you. My sisters tell me that all the time. So you know, it was something that I was just really, really nervous. I was just like, fuck, like, shit, okay, I'm going to post it. I'm just going to do it. And, you know, even the TikTok dances, I still do those. But I guess for me, it was just like, you know, actually, when I was making the video, again, I had it as a draft for a couple of days. But when I was making it, I just remember my son, he was right next to me. He was sleeping. And I'm just like up. And I'm rocking like this, like biting my nails. And I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this. I poured me some wine and I'm drinking my wine. And I'm just like, I don't know. And I start crying and crying and crying. And I'm just like, this was my life. And it's not just, oh, I'm going to work out and this, that. And it may be like that for some people, and that's fine. But to me, there was so much more to my story. Right. It wasn't just strangers have called me names and stuff. But at this point, I dealt with a lot of abuse from people that were in my personal life. And so. Yeah.
That's a phenomenal transition. Honestly, that's crazy. I love it. So last couple things. I think obviously most importantly, just the possibility. And I think as I was saying from the beginning of the podcast, where it's like just the relatability is the most important thing, getting raw and honest with where you were, how you're transformed, where you're at now. And that's the most important piece. But I know more than that, I want to make sure that anyone that's listening to this gets inspired, they get connected to themselves of what's possible. But I would love to I'd love to have you have just a minute or two to just share an impactful knowledge that helped you. So like you're in your position, you're at your heaviest weight. This could be just post-surgery. This could be pre-surgery, however you want to look at it. Someone's listening right now that really impacts with your story. They're a mom and they really need to transform their health. What is one piece of information that's tangible that they can take that can really take them moving in the right direction?
So the one piece, okay, so let me just say this. There's going to be days where you're not going to be motivated. There's going to be days where you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel like going to the gym. You're not going to feel like meal prepping. You're not going to feel like doing what you know you need to do to get to where you need to be, okay? And this is a speech, Walter Bond, you guys know him, Shark Mindset. And the reason why the reason I'm talking about it now is because every single morning, every single workout before I went to bed, I would listen to this guy. And it's called Shark Mindset. It's on YouTube. And it's not just it's like 10 minutes long, but this is what pushed me, okay? And it's a speech about NBA. Like, I don't even play basketball, okay? But I related so much to it because it's sharks, okay? Mm-hmm. They never stop swimming. If a shark stops swimming, it will die. So I'm just gonna say that. When I first listened to that years ago, I'm like, let me Google this. I don't believe it. Like, what do you mean if a shark stops swimming? And then in the speech it said, if a shark swims backwards, or if it goes backwards, it will die. Think like a shark, act like a shark, and behave like a shark. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. I listen to it every day. Every day. I mean, this morning I listened to it, and oh, it's so powerful. And for me, I took that in my personal life, and whenever I would, overhear someone like talking about me, or even when I was like in my relationship at that time, and there was something going on where, there was abuse happening or whatever. The first thing I listened to was that sharks, they never stop swimming. I'm about to cry. I'm sorry.
No.
That's so embarrassing. Edit this. Are you going to edit that out?
That's staying in there.
No, this is staying. This is definitely staying.
I love it because again, it's in my thing. I did the same thing. I listened to whether it was I think it's like priming your morning, priming your night, where it's like whether it's Eric Thomas, whatever it may be.
Oh, I love him.
There's nothing there's just something to motivation and listening to different podcasts. It's like showering. The longer you go without showering, the more you smell. The same thing with listening to different podcasts and different things. It heightens that motivation, and then it's another tool to help you move forward.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it was for me. I used that as something that I knew I could it just made me feel like, anything's possible. And the speech literally was about basketball. I mean, it was about sharks, but it had nothing to do with me, like, because I might, I don't watch sports like that, but it's something about that where it's like, sharks, just keep swimming. Just keep, like Dory, just keep swimming, from Finding Nemo. I use that. Even this morning, I was feeling, and I'll really, really quick talk about this. I know, we're getting low here on time, but this morning I was feeling very different. Mother's Day is tomorrow, and my mom obviously is no longer living, and and I know that some people may think, oh well, that doesn't matter, but to me this is my first Mother's Day actually being like a single mom, and I just felt just a little bit weak this morning, and I listened to Shark Mindset, and then I also listened to Rocky, a speech that he did in one of it wasn't even a speech, it was a movie scene in Rocky, and he was saying, son, let me tell you something you already know. The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and it will knock you down and keep you there permanently if you let it. Nobody's going to hit you as hard as life will hit you, but it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
Yep.
about how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And I listened to that this morning. I needed that one this morning. So
I love the raw there, because it's like, oh yeah, I've done it. I'm at my weight loss. Everything's fantastic. Yeah. That's not how it works.
No,
that's not how it works. It's not the singular diet that once you get to your goal, it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's a game. It's a constant game. So that honestly, this was fantastic, Dani. Danielle, I'm sure you were freaking out a little bit, but you did fantastic.
Yeah, I was.
This is great.
Yeah, I loved it. Thanks for having me on here.
And then, John, do you have any questions, comments, observations?
No, I mean, just let everyone know where they can find you. Instagram, TikTok. Where can we find Dani?
Yeah. So Instagram is DaniBaby17, which is DaniBabi17. And then my TikTok is DaniMary92. So DaniMary 92. And then Facebook, which I think you can only have 5,000 friends or something. I'm like getting close to that, but it's Dani Smith on Facebook, guys. So hit me up, DM me, ask me questions. I love to help other people, and just know that we're all in this together. And it's a process, and maybe we'll talk about this another day, David,
100%.
But with my skin removal surgery, I was freaking the hell out about that. And one piece of advice you gave me, you said, trust the process. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'm gonna try. Like, what if I'm gonna die the next day? Like, it was hard. We'll talk about that another time. But
we're gonna have you back on. We'll dive into that to the skin surgery and stuff. But I just want to thank you for coming on and taking out time out of your day to do this. It was so lovely meeting you, and your story is incredible.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much, guys. You guys
all right, fam. Well, until next week, or until the next podcast, I appreciate you all hopping on here. Obviously, there's incredible things to come with all of us, and it's a family. This group is going to be something special. It's not about any individual story. It's not about any individual program. It's about building accountability, building a group, and helping people through the process. So with that being said, guys, have a phenomenal rest of your day, and I will talk to you all shortly.
Take care.